Have you ever gone to this place called 18 Chefs? The first time I went there and saw the menu, I was just left speechless. Because one of their dishes is called Heart Attack Fried Rice. Can you imagine that? Heart Attack Fried Rice. A dish that is supposed to cause you to have a heart attack. Warning, may cause sudden cardiac arrest. Who in their right mind would order something like that? What kind of advertising is this? I'm not sure. So if you've eaten it before, please let me know. It'll be quite interesting to know if you did get a heart attack after that. Anyway, welcome back to our videos on transport in humans. We're into our last set of videos, and we're going to be ending off by discussing heart disease, one of them being heart attack. Alright, so in this set of videos, we're going to learn about a few new words: atherosclerosis, coronary heart disease, and also the risk that cause such diseases. So what is coronary heart disease? What's it got to do with this thing called atherosclerosis? Hopefully all will become clear. So stay alive, don't get a heart attack, and let's focus on what we need to learn. Right, let's start by watching a video on coronary heart disease and atherosclerosis. So as you watch this video, look for the answer to this question: what is atherosclerosis and what does it result in?
In the United States, coronary heart disease is the #1 cause of death for both men and women. Coronary heart disease is a disease in which a waxy substance called plaque builds up inside the coronary arteries, which supply oxygen-rich blood to your heart. The buildup of plaque over time causes a hardening and narrowing of the arteries called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis can lead to serious problems, including heart attack, stroke, or even death. Healthy arteries are strong and elastic. They become narrow between heartbeats, and they help keep your blood pressure consistent. This helps blood move through your body. In atherosclerosis, plaque builds up inside your arteries. Plaque is made up of fat, cholesterol, calcium, and other substances found in the blood. Over time, plaque hardens and narrows your coronary arteries. The buildup of plaque limits the flow of oxygen-rich blood to your heart, which can cause chest pain or discomfort called angina. Eventually, an area of plaque can rupture or break open. If the plaque ruptures, a blood clot can form on its surface. A large blood clot can mostly or completely block the flow of blood through a coronary artery, which can cause a heart attack.
Alright, so hopefully you managed to catch some of the answers to that question. What does atherosclerosis result in? So what is atherosclerosis? Well, as we saw in the video, atherosclerosis is the buildup of a substance called plaque on the inner surface of an artery. And this substance called plaque is made up of fatty substances like fat and cholesterol. Now the result of atherosclerosis is that it actually causes the arteries to become narrowed, right, and hardened. And that's why it's called atherosclerosis. The word sclerosis means hardening. Okay, so no longer is the artery elastic, it becomes hardened, and the lumen becomes narrower, right, because it's now occupied by the plaque. Now, just something interesting to add on. Notice that the plaque actually builds up on the inner surface of the artery. So let me draw for you the cross-section of an artery here. Now, some people think that the plaque is built up here. That means like in the lumen itself, right? Not affecting the blood vessel, the layers of the blood vessel at all. Okay, but this is an incorrect understanding of atherosclerosis. In atherosclerosis, what happens is that the plaque actually builds up on the inner surface of the artery, inside here. So as it builds up, eventually it becomes like a bump, right? So it'll build up. It pushes out the endothelium of the artery, right? into the lumen. Okay, so it's not like something just being dropped or deposited in the lumen. It's actually accumulating underneath on the inner surface of an artery, building up. Alright, but if you didn't get that, just remember that it is the buildup of plaque on the inner surface of an artery. Now we saw the effect of atherosclerosis is that it increases the risk of an artery becoming blocked. And that's dangerous because if an artery becomes blocked, then oxygen and nutrients cannot be supplied to a certain part of the body. Now, how can the artery become blocked? We also saw the video that this may happen by what is called thrombosis. And thrombosis is a scientific word that means the formation of a blood clot in the artery. So what happens is that this plaque can sometimes break open, right? And then it will form a blood clot at that point, thrombosis, which may actually block the entire artery altogether. Now, the video also mentioned something called the coronary arteries. It's a very, very important artery that you all need to know. The coronary artery, coronary means heart. The coronary arteries supply the heart muscles with oxygen and nutrients. So here's our aorta, right? Hopefully this looks familiar to you. Now, the aorta, before bringing blood to the rest of the body, also branches off to the right coronary artery and the left coronary artery. And these coronary arteries, seen here as well, supply nutrients and oxygen to the heart itself. So the heart muscles are able to keep beating. Question: what happens if atherosclerosis happens inside the coronary arteries? What happens when plaque starts to build up inside the coronary arteries? That's what we're going to answer in the next slide. Now, if atherosclerosis happens inside the coronary arteries, then the coronary arteries will become narrowed. And that is a condition called coronary heart disease, okay, or CHD. So coronary heart disease is a narrowing of the coronary arteries due to atherosclerosis, due to plaque building up on the inner surface of the coronary arteries. So atherosclerosis can happen in all different types of arteries. It could happen in any artery. But when atherosclerosis happens in the coronary arteries, we call that coronary heart disease. Now, coronary heart disease increases the risk of the coronary arteries becoming blocked because now the coronary arteries are narrow, right? They're narrow, and so they could easily become blocked, for example, by thrombosis, right? By the blood clot forming. So if the coronary arteries become blocked, then trouble. If the coronary arteries become blocked, then the heart muscles do not receive enough oxygen or nutrients, which they need to keep the heart beating. So eventually the heart muscle cells become damaged and even die, and this results in a heart attack, which people experience as a very sharp pain in the chest area. So far we have seen 4 different terms which are kind of related to one another: coronary heart disease, atherosclerosis, thrombosis, heart attack. But what's the difference between these terms and how do we use them properly? Now for that, you would have to try filling up this diagram. Okay, so try filling up this diagram with the words atherosclerosis, coronary heart disease, blah de blah, and make sense of how they are related but not the same thing. So try first, pause for a while, and then start the video once you're done. Alright, so I've hoped you've tried it out and got something like this. So atherosclerosis in the coronary arteries is what causes coronary heart disease, right? Atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque in the coronary arteries, causes coronary heart disease, where the coronary arteries are narrower. So this increases the risk of the coronary arteries becoming blocked, for example by thrombosis, the formation of a blood clot. This reduces the supply of blood and oxygen and nutrients to the heart muscle cells, so the heart muscle cells die and become damaged, resulting in the heart attack. Right, so that's how it all fits together. Okay, it's not just heart attack. There's a lot of things that leads up to a heart attack. Alright, since coronary heart disease is such a terrible thing and so many people die from it, how can we prevent it? And what causes it? Well, this picture here shows you one cause of it, actually, that emotional stress is one of the contributing factors to coronary heart disease. You can think of the reasons why. Maybe one of the reasons that it actually leads the blood pressure to increase. And then if your blood pressure increases, it actually increases the chance of thrombosis happening, because the blood moves through your vessels much faster. It might cause the walls of the blood vessel to be damaged, blood clots to form, and so on. So to prevent it, it's important to have enough rest and recreation. So this is time for you to also think that sometimes you need to do something fun. Don't just work all day and feel stressed. So some tips for you. Notice, turn off your phone is one example of de-stressing. Phone is a huge source of stress. Another main cause of coronary heart disease is a diet high in cholesterol and saturated fat. These are both components of plaque. So if you eat lots of this, plaque will start to build up, possibly in your coronary arteries. Heart attack chicken, no, never eat that, no. Instead, opt for a healthier diet. For example, unsaturated instead of saturated fats, and go for regular physical exercise. I sound like I'm a nutritionist or a health advisor trying to give you advice that you probably already know. So go for healthier diet. It will help to prevent coronary heart disease. And physical exercise, in case you're wondering, does not refer to running around in the virtual world, whether it's your League of Legends or Vainglory, whatever it is, okay? It's not. It refers to actually going outside and getting some sun. Finally, another cause of coronary heart disease is actually smoking, which I trust none of you are doing and should ever try doing. Tobacco smoke contains nicotine and carbon monoxide. We'll see more of this in our next chapter in respiration, but these are very bad for your body, and one of the things they do is they sometimes lead to the narrowing of your arteries, especially nicotine. So that doesn't help coronary heart disease at all. It might actually cause the risk of coronary heart disease to increase. So to prevent it, don't smoke. Alright, I think we've reached the end of our chapter on transport in humans. So I hope that you've had a really enriching time learning more about your own heart, about how it beats and pumps, and I hope that you learned something and you can impress people now, maybe with your knowledge of what happens in the cardiac cycle. Certainly you've learned lots of new words, and it'll take some time for you to remember everything and apply it to your answer. So let's do a bit of practice in your 10-year series in the worksheets, and we'll get better over time. So I'll see you in class. Thank you.